there, this is Coach Chris Wilson here in the Criticalbench compound with the one and only Alex Nanos, who stops by quite often here for our videos, and we're so happy to have her here today to showcase 6 really effective hamstring exercises that you can do with dumbbells. Now, there's, a lot of different ways to train the legs with dumbbells. I mean, we could make a video probably for 50 to 100 exercises, but what I wanted to do today was take 6 of what I thought are the most effective ways that are also fun and safe that you can do just about anywhere. You can do them at home, you can do them in the gym, and all you need are a few sets of dumbbells. So we have some different weights here, some lighter ones, some heavier ones, depending on what the exercise is. And we're gonna go exercise by exercise. I'm gonna break it down just a little bit, give some instruction, and you get to see Alex perform the exercise. So let's get into these. Okay, so let's begin with one of my favorites, a stiff leg deadlift. So this is truly a hamstring isolation exercise that a lot of people, I think there's confusion quite often with the different ways you can hit the hamstrings, like stiff leg, Romanian deadlifts, traditional deadlifts. So what we're doing today, the stiff leg is exactly that. It's a very straight, stiff leg that I would encourage people to stick with lighter loads. And you're trying to, obviously, it's as much almost a stretching exercise as it is a strengthening exercise. So she's sticking with just 10-pound dumbbells. Her legs are about as straight as they possibly can be, and she's just sliding the weights down the front of her legs so the weight stays real tight to the body. As you can see, her legs are real straight. Go ahead and turn just slightly for us too, Alex. And you can get that, see that angle. So she's still keeping a really safe back. And what some people will do is they'll actually go up on risers if they feel like the dumbbells they're using, or maybe they're doing this with a barbell or something, so that they can get the biggest, greatest stretch and demand on the hamstrings as possible. But with the smaller dumbbells, there's no need for her to be up on a platform of any kind. She's just reaching down until she gets to the top of her feet, and all that tension's really right back here on the hamstring. It's a great way to hit the hamstrings with a light load, and I just encourage you to do these when you're warmed up, and don't overdo it with weight. Can't say that enough and stress that enough, is that you don't want to put your back or your hamstrings in a vulnerable position with really a stretching movement like that. But it is good for strengthening at the same time. So let's move on to exercise number 2. All right, so for exercise number 2, we're going to do a Romanian deadlift, which is really great. It's kind of a hybrid deadlift. Actually, my favorite way of doing a deadlift is this move. Notice her lower leg is still very much vertical. But what she's done now is she's obviously hinging from the hips and bending at the knee. Okay, so we have a knee bend, and we have hip hinging. Still stressing a lot of hamstring here, but really factoring in, obviously, as we pull through and extend the hips forward, we're getting a lot of glute, we're getting still a lot of lumbar spine, but major hamstring. Go ahead and turn and do like 3 or 4 more reps. These look really good. Again, this is my favorite way to do deadlifts. You can be very strong with this exercise and get really move some really big weight. This is fun with dumbbells. This is fun with barbells. This is fun with kettlebells. Doesn't matter what you're using. Again, be smart with the weight that you are using, but you can go heavier with that exercise. So, for that one, she has 15s. Those look really good, but that was still probably fairly easy for you.
It was.
Yeah. Deadlifts are one of the most powerful exercises. So that would be something that if you did devote a certain amount of time to it, you're going to see like weight increases pretty steadily if you stick with it and you're consistent training that exercise. One of my very favorite all-time leg exercises for sure. Let's move on to number 3. Alrighty, so exercise number 3 is now a balance exercise. So we're removing a leg off the ground. We're doing a single leg deadlift, okay? So this is kind of like almost like doing a one-legged Romanian deadlift is really what we're looking at here. So Alex is maintaining her balance, moving slow and controlled. That lower leg stays again, very vertical, as she extends her other leg, the lifted leg, back behind her for counterbalance. This is a great isolation exercise because now obviously the left side, hamstring and glute, is really working hard here. A lot of stabilizing going on, a lot of core strength going on. So she needs to lock in through her midsection. She needs to be focused. This is not an exercise that you can easily do or do well if you're paying attention to something else, if you're not kind of focused on something visually and, having, a good breath and really staying true to the exercise. Otherwise, you're going to feel wobbly and off balance. So go ahead and switch legs and hands. This is another exercise that I love to do, not just with dumbbells, but, replace the dumbbell with a kettlebell. You could even hold like a medicine ball or a sandbag. I mean, there's pretty much anything you can do this with. If you don't have dumbbells, just pick up anything that you can easily hold with one hand. A gallon of a jug of water would work. These look really good. It's a really great leg exercise, and you can do it, as you saw, with the single dumbbell, but go ahead and grab the 10s or 15s. I don't care. Either one. So the other version of this would be to do the same exercise, but holding weight in both hands. So it's the same exercise, but now you're weighted in both hands. So if you're looking for more resistance, essentially, right, or to feel maybe even like feels different, right? I mean, obviously the same amount of weight, because you just went from a single 20 to double 10. So it's the same amount of load, but it feels different. So that's the other way of doing, obviously, a single leg deadlift, either 2 dumbbells or the single. I do recommend, if you go with the single hand, to do the contralateral, so that you get the weight in the right hand and you're reaching towards the left leg. Otherwise, you're going to feel really kind of odd if everything's on the same side, which is, you can train that way. I don't do a lot of like same side or ipsilateral work. I do mostly contralateral stuff because that's kind of how the body works, right? When you're running motions of the body, like everything's opposing. Like the right foot goes forward, the left arm goes forward, and vice versa. So I kind of stick to that same processing in my my exercise. All right, so let's move on. Exercise number 4. Alrighty, so we have exercise number 4, which is a little bit off the radar for some people. This is not an exercise that I used to do, but I saw people starting to do this. It made a lot of sense to make this to make this list. It's called a kickstand deadlift. So it's almost like a combination of doing a single leg or or what you saw, the Romanian deadlift. But what you're getting out of this is more balance, okay, and still extremely effective on the forward leg. So maybe it's hard to tell watching her do this, but her rear leg is only doing a very small percentage of the work. Her forward leg is probably doing 90% of the work. I don't know exactly where we're at here, but it's got to be anywhere from 3/4 to 90% of the load bearing is coming from that forward leg, because all of her weight stacks up over that forward leg. The rear leg is just simply a kickstand. It's just to help her feel more balanced. Go ahead and switch legs and then turn sideways and do a few more of those. So, boom. So again, she is loading primarily this front hamstring, and that back leg is really just a supporting leg, a balancing leg, not doing much work at all. It's a great alternative to the single leg where the leg's lifted and raised off the ground. Some people just don't like that exercise. They don't like focusing so much on balancing when they're holding weight. So that's a great one. Or if you like both, then mix them both into your workouts. But kickstand deadlift, really cool exercise for your hamstring. Let's move on to number 5. All right, so we're going to do a prone leg curl with a single dumbbell. So Alex is going to lay face down on the bench, And what I'm going to do, now this, I'll show you, there is a way to pick this dumbbell up by yourself if you don't have somebody to help you. She's just going to kind of clutch and hold this so that the top part of the dumbbell just sits on the bottoms of the legs. And then she's really going to go slowly down as far as she feels comfortable. And then just curl it back up to about vertical. Because once you get past here, there's not going to be any tension. So she's really feeling the hamstrings here. This is only 10 pounds. And she's going to come right back to where the weight is sitting, or her lower legs are vertical. And then just slow and controlled with this exercise. So I would start light for sure if you're not used to this movement. It's a great option for people who obviously don't have access to a prone leg curl machine, but they're still looking for that same kind of feeling, okay? And you can just do that at home with dumbbells quite safely, but you got to slow the motion down to make it that much more effective because of the load that you're working with. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears. I'm going to give her a little bit more weight just to challenge her a little bit more. So see how you like this one, Alex. Feel that? Feel that?
Yes.
How's that feel though? Like obviously the first one was pretty easy. Does this feel like, ooh, now I got to work a little harder? Okay. Good. Go ahead and do one more rep. This looks good. I want them to see the tempo of it because it is. You can really go down to like a 5 or 6 count on the way down and then like a 2 count on the way up. Good. And then go ahead and bring it all the way down and back to the ground, the dumbbell. So kind of like bring it down so you can rest the dumbbell on the ground or just drop it. Right. Now, let's show them just so they see. I'm going to put the 10 here. Let's see how skilled you are. Are you able to like try and pick that up yourself? Ooh, she got it. See? Okay, so you see what she did? So you kind of just like reach for it with your toes and squeeze on it, and then it kind of just falls into place in between your feet. Do you want to do one more?
Sure.
Okay. Try to do one more just so that they see what you did. You kind of just grabbed it, and then it kind of slide it into place. Great. There you go. You got it. It kind of sits in between the grooves of the soles of the sneaker. Okay, so exercise number 6 is a high step up. So low step ups are really good to benefit the muscles supporting the knee and strengthening the quad. When you start to go, never mind all the banging out there, that's our neighbors. Once you go higher, okay, once you go from here to here, now you're starting to get the backside of the leg. So less quad. Once you start to lift all the way up here, okay, now we're getting more of the backside, the hamstrings into the glute on the exercise. So the high step up becomes more of a posterior exercise. Good. Still, yes, you're still working your quadriceps as you come through and lock the leg at the top. Good. But the slower, another factor here is really making the standing leg, okay, the leg that's being worked, the up leg, making that do all the work and really slowing the descent, right? That's when you really start to feel like the glute ham area, right? Good. So the key, I say, with a lot of people is come down soft so that you almost can't even hear yourself touch the ground. So you want to really, sometimes people do this, they do it really fast, kind of out of control, and they plop down like with a thud. That's not what you want with a good high step up. You want your high step up to be controlled, especially on the eccentric, and come down really soft. So you're really stressing that top leg. And I don't like to alternate legs. People will kind of, I mean, if it's a conditioning exercise, then it's different, where people kind of like left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And it's more conditioning and heart rate. But if you're really going for strengthening and really trying to target a certain part of the body, I like slow control, keep the leg up there. But that's just my approach. And then you can actually get some good weight on those. I mean, she had 15 pounds in each hand. She could probably go to 20s or maybe even more. And not only is she moving her body weight, she also has all this extra dumbbell weight in her hands. So a terrific exercise for the lower body and the hamstrings. Hey, great job.
Hey, thanks.
6 hamstring exercises with dumbbells. So now you don't have to do obviously all 6 of those in one workout. You might just do 1 or 2 of those in a leg workout or in a hamstring routine that you've put together for yourself. I would encourage you to try all of them. Try them again with lighter loads and make sure that you're, doing them safely, doing them correctly, have the right, technique before you start to increase the weight. But all 6 of those in their own right are worth doing, and you're probably feeling pretty good through the hamstrings right now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, hey, speaking of legs, we got to talk about our inner thigh solution program. Now, the legs are known, when people talk about legs, they talk about quads and hamstrings and calves, but a lot of people don't talk adductors. The adductors is another whole huge group, part of your leg, a group of muscles that help pull the leg to midline, helps stabilize and support and work together with your glutes. They're huge when it comes to, being able to move laterally and athletically in different directions. And if a lot of people strain their groins, right, or have really tight hips or tight through their inner thighs, and they don't know how to train that part of the leg effectively. Well, we have a program to help you do that. It's called the Inner Thigh Solution. Yes, it's a DVD. Also comes digitally. You can stream it and download it and watch it that way too. We have it. If you want to learn more about the Inner Thigh Solution, it's 2 bodyweight and 2 gym routines. So you have bodyweight routines and you have gym routines that utilize some equipment. 4 terrific workouts that could really take your legs to the next level. If you're frustrated with how your legs are developing, or you feel like you have a weak spot, or there's a certain part of the legs that you just can't seem to target, this could be the missing link for you. So go to the description area or to the pinned comment below this video, and you can learn more about the Inner Thigh Solution. Terrific program. Thanks again so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give Alex a great big thumbs up. Leave us a question or a comment, anything about any of the exercises that you saw today. And don't forget to subscribe to the Criticalbench YouTube channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.